Okay, Kim, looks like you were doing your service learning at the Lothlorien Therapeutic Writing Center. Hopefully, I pronounced that right. So, I just really love this whole series, and the thing that really strikes me immediately from looking at this is how you are able to order or arrange your images in a way that they sort of tell a story about this place. So you start off with this first shot that is kind of an overview or a wide exterior shot. Love the fact that we've sort of got these fences that sort of lead our eye right to the barn here, and of course at the barn we've got the logo that's going on there that allows us to recognize what this place is, and certainly is reinforced by your title there. Stuff like this, when we see S-shaped compositions, sort of our eye goes back and forth and back and forth in the frame. And what that does is, think of it like the tick-tock, like a pendulum on a grandfather clock. It's kind of like a very pleasing back and forth rhythmic motion that the eye very much is attracted to. So great start to it. And then you kind of introduce the characters. It's almost like the beginning of the movie where it says starring, and you've got these different horses here, and I love how you photograph them in a way that really exaggerates their personalities and almost in a way kind of humanizes them. So great job with both of these images, and great job in putting them in a sequence that they make sense too. I think if you had put these later on in the body of work, I'm not necessarily sure that it would be as obvious and would fit as well there. So I like that a lot. And then, of course, you start looking at some of the details in the place, like the helmets. And, the thing that I like about this is just not a picture of helmets, but they're ordered in a very, very specific way. And of course, we've got sort of the colorful logo on the one helmet that is a place that our eye kind of ultimately ends up landing there. And then some images of the work that goes on behind the scenes before anything happens. I kind of wonder if we saw a little bit more of this person, if that might be even that much more interesting. Or I almost imagine, sort of one arm reaching up into this area, brushing or grooming or something like that. I think that could just sort of bring that one little extra dimension to the project that I think would really push it even that much further along. Great shot of the stalls, and I love how the fact that you got inside one of the stalls there and you're looking across at the other one. Almost feels like you might be a horse looking out at the other horse there. So again, you have a good sense of how to take the viewer into this place and draw them into the project and let them experience it on a almost very tactile level. So like that a lot. And of course, we've got to have some shots that actually show what's going on. And the trick here is always you want to have a nice balance of showing what's going on, but not having too many images of the same thing, which again, in this case, I think you've got the right balance of stuff here. And especially what I love about this image is the gesture on his face there. I mean, you can see how happy he is and how excited he is to be doing this. Like this shot a lot. The one thing you got to watch out for, and even I do this after being a professional for 25 years. Every so often you start to forget about the edges of your frame, and you start cutting off people's feet. Well, of course, this is a horse and it doesn't have feet, but I think that in this case we have his hoofs that are being cut off here. So that is something we really have to consider in that image. Love this shot. I mean, it just, goes to show the bond between the horse and the person that is in the riding therapy. And I mean, it's just a great connection. Beautiful photograph, and especially love how the horse is turned in towards him, and that turn kind of gives his head or her head a very, very distinct and distinguishable shape. So I love that a lot. Again, look at the top of the ears here. You cut that off just like a teeny bit. So that's a minor, minor thing, and especially as you're just getting started in photography, we're not going to beat you up for that. But, pay attention to the edges of your frame and make sure that you're aware of what's going on there. And then, of course, you getting your name tag at the end of everything is kind of like the exclamation point on everything. And I love the way you use the cat as kind of like a framing device or a framing element in there. So, again, I think that is very successful. So, great job with this project. One of my favorites that I've seen so far. So, keep up the good work going into your final, and look forward to seeing what you have for us.